Hey bro, so I watched Andrew Huberman's podcast on sleep. I think it's about 2 hours, 2.5 hours long, and I've just basically taken all the information that I think is important and interesting. There might be some tips or fun facts in there, and I've compressed it all down, and hopefully won't be a 2 hour. No, it definitely won't be 2 hour video. So I'll just give you what I got, and probably will be putting some timestamps in there. So basically, sleep is the foundation, and it's critical for mental health, physical health, performance of all kinds. So physical performance, it controls our immune system, our skin health, and our appearance. So if you don't get much sleep, obviously you're going to look like you're half dead, right? Like sometimes your skin goes black, or yeah, it's not nice. It also determines whether or not we can think clearly or not. So obviously need more sleep, right? Whether or not we live as long as we possibly can or not. Whether or not we suffer from dramatic age-related cognitive decline or not. So that basically means whether or not we keep our memory as we age. The list goes on and on about the terrible things that can happen if you don't sleep well. So it's literally probably the best thing to optimize in your life if you want to choose one thing. And what's often not discussed about sleep is how great life is when you get the appropriate amount of sleep. So you'll get to be more focused and energetic. You'll be more positive with your mood. So happier, just a fantastic, best type of mood you can basically think of. So these will all come when you are sleeping the appropriate amount of time and depth and doing that regularly. So basically everything in your life gets better when you're getting enough sleep. So it's probably should be number one on most people's lists to optimize. So these are the main levers and tools he goes through in his podcast that allow you to control when you're awake and when you're asleep, and to get better sleep every single night. So these are the levers. So any form of light, so sunlight, lights from your globes in your house, candlelight, moonlight, any type of light, and darkness as well. So the absence of light basically. So that's another lever and tool. Another lever and tool is temperature. So when your body's cooling down, you have a greater tendency to fall and stay asleep. And when your body heats up, you will wake up. And another main lever and tool is caffeine. So I'll just go through this video in order from waking to sleeping. So if you need to be awake, he's got these light tools which this will help optimize your sleep. So first thing in the morning, view bright sunlight within the first 60 minutes after waking to trigger the cortisol release early in the day, because you want to be releasing your cortisol early in the day, getting it out and not keeping it, because if you don't know, it's a stress hormone. So you want to be, the best time of the day is basically when you get up, you want to release it. So view bright sunlight within the first 60 minutes. And the duration of the sunlight viewing should be about 5 minutes if there's no cloud cover like trees, etc. If there is cloud cover with like sun peeking through, you want to get about 10 minutes or so. If it's densely overcast or rainy, you need to get about 20 to 30 minutes. Don't use sunglasses, and make sure you're actually standing outside, so there's nothing, you're not looking through a window, unless it's the last resort. So unless it's like super windy and rainy outside. So if the sun is low in the sky and it doesn't hurt your eyes, then it's okay to look. Otherwise, if it's going to hurt your eyes, yeah, it's kind of common sense, don't look directly at it. just look towards it, so you can just look to the right of it, like if it's like here, and just like, if you can, if it's too bright, obviously you'll have to look a bit further away, but just try to look towards it so you're still getting that sunlight into your eyes, and it hits, I think it's the bottom part, it goes into your somewhere under here, and that's how the good stuff happens. I mean, I'm not a professor of science, I'm just going by what he said in the video. So if you need to be awake before the sun is up, just flip on the artificial lights, but you still want to get outside to view sunlight later. So if you say have to get up at 4 a.m. and the sun doesn't come up till 6, well then try to get out at 6 a.m. to view the sunlight. If you live in a cave, there might be a select few that live in a cave. He recommends getting a ring light, you know those ring lights? I've actually got one here. I mean, it's not very bright, but that's what he recommends. And use that to get your sunlight. And also a drawing LED tablet he recommends as well. So this whole viewing the bright light early in the morning, you do this for 80% of the days in your life, and if you miss a day, you can double up the next day. And now I'll cover the temperature tools for this is when you want to be awake in the morning. So great way to heat up your body, because you want to heat up your body to become more awake and to basically say to your circadian rhythm that it's time to get up and stay awake, is to actually have a cold shower. So this duration is about 1 to 3 minutes, he recommends, or an ice bath. So you'd think it would cool you down, right? But because it's so cold, as long as you don't spend too long in the shower, the cold shower or the ice bath, your body will metabolize and heat up, and that'll bring up your temperature. And also another temperature tool is exercise. And also eating will increase your body temperature as well. So this is when you want to be awake and to tell your circadian rhythm basically, it's time to stay up, be awake, we're getting up now, this is how my life is. So to get your circadian clock working at its optimum level. And if you like caffeine, you don't have to drink caffeine, but he recommends delaying the caffeine intake for 90 to 120 minutes after waking to avoid this afternoon crash. And I've done this and I'm amazed at my energy levels throughout the afternoon. I don't get tired, even if I've only had like 2 or 3 hours sleep. It's incredible. And avoid more than 100 milligrams after 4 p.m. of caffeine. But it's better if it's 3 or 2 p.m. And 100 milligrams, I think, is about 100 milligrams. So there's, I think, in 100 grams of coffee, there's about 40 milligrams of caffeine. So you just work that out. And I think different beans have different caffeine content, so you'll have to look that up yourselves, because I don't know what coffee you guys are drinking. And if you want to shift your sleep, if you normally sleep at 2 a.m. and wake up at 10 a.m. and you want to wake up at say 5 or 6 a.m., so about 4 hours earlier than the normal time you're waking up, it will take about a week. And just set your alarm 30 minutes to 1 hour earlier every day, and then sleep 30 minutes to 1 hour earlier every day. And if you like naps, it's fine to nap, but it's not necessary during the day. So it is fine to nap as long as it's not too late and it starts affecting your sleeping at night time. So don't make your naps longer than 90 minutes. If you don't like or you feel groggy from having naps, there's an app called Reverie. I think you have to pay for that, so It's completely up to you. He reckons it's definitely worth the money. Or you can try an NSDR script, which is non-sleep deep rest. He's even got one on YouTube. Or you can try Yoga Nidra. So you can do the NSDR script for 10, 20 and 30 minutes, or the Yoga Nidra script for 10, 20 or 30 minutes. Okay, and in the afternoons, this is to optimize your sleep again. You want to view sunlight about 5 minutes or 10 minutes. This is when the sun's going down, so you want to get that light into your eyes about 5 minutes or 10 minutes to 15 minutes, depending on the cloud cover. So 5 minutes if there's no cloud cover and it's just sun. And then now we're talking about after sunset. So when the sun is down, try to dim all the lights in your house and use low lights like desk lamps. It's preferred. You can even place them on the floor. I actually do that in my room, unless I'm recording videos, of course, because otherwise you won't see my face. So dim down your TVs, your monitors, computer monitors. You can use candlelight or moonlight. I guess if you had a glass roof, you could use moonlight. That'd be pretty cool. And you can even wear your sunglasses at night time. So just say if you need to go to a petrol station and they've got those fluorescent tubes, they're extremely bad for your optimizing your sleep. So you can put on your sunglasses. And hot showers are good as well, because when you have a hot shower, your body tries to cool itself down. So cooling down your temperature gets you ready for sleep. Okay, so now when you're sleeping, you want to cool your room at night by a few degrees. You can even use a fan to do this, aircon. And if you like to drink alcohol or ingest THC, it's better you don't, because it greatly disrupts the quality of your sleep. Now, he's listed these supplements to greatly improve the ability to fall and stay asleep, and I've actually bought one of these today to try out. So it's not required, but it might be beneficial. So I'll start with the first one he recommends and the amount. So the first one is Magnesium Threonate, 145 milligrams. He also says if it disrupts your gut, don't take it. So if you start getting pains in your stomach, or you need to, go to the toilet and you know it's the Magnesium Threonate, then don't take it. The next supplement is Apigenin, 50 milligrams. And the next supplement is Theanine, 100 to 400 milligrams. He said some people got quite vivid, disruptive dreams. If you get those, just leave it out. And you take these 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime. So I think I'll need to take mine in about an hour or so. You don't need to take all three, so I would recommend just taking one, just to see how your whole body and how your sleep goes with just taking one supplement, and then introduce more or take some out if you're having negative effects. Just kind of custom, because everyone's a little bit different. Like their bodies are composed differently, and they're obviously got different routines, etc. So he does state that many people also get a synergistic effect, so the synergization of all of the minerals. But best to just try one, see how you go. If it's great, then try another one. If it's great, try the next one. And then if they're all great, just take them all. and he personally takes every third or fourth night, he takes 2 grams of glycine and 100 milligrams of GABA. And every other night, when he's not taking the glycine and GABA, he takes 900 milligrams of myo-inositol. Actually, I probably didn't say that. Myo-inositol. He does not recommend melatonin. I thought it was good to get if you wanted to improve your sleep, but it's not recommended because the dosages that they sell in the pharmacies are way too high than what we make endogenously basically means what our bodies make. It also interacts with other hormone systems, which are the ones that are affected is testosterone and estrogen, and it also affects puberty systems in kids. So this is melatonin we're still talking about. But it's probably not a problem if you're taking it for jet lag or shift work or something, but just maybe once a month. So if you wake up in the middle of the night and you need to get back to sleep, do a non-sleep deep rest script, NSDR, or you can do Yoga Nidra if the Reverie app, which he recommends, is outside your price range. And if you're using the restroom in the middle of the night, dim your lights as much as possible. Now we'll go talk about light masks. So they do actually improve your sleep, provided it's not too tight, so the straps around your head, and provided the room is cool enough, as your face will heat up while you're wearing the mask. So if your room's quite cool, then your face will be cool enough to stay asleep. But obviously don't wear it if it's too tight or your room's not cool enough. Earplugs. They're subjective. They can keep the noise out, but some people complain they can hear their own heartbeat, which would keep them up. So, not good for them. And now we're talking about elevating your feet while you're sleeping. So this can either be with a pillow or elevated bed, and about 3 to 5 degrees. So this is beneficial for increasing the depth of your sleep. I did a summary of his breathing video, and always breathe through your nose unless you're eating, talking, sleeping, drinking. I mean, if you're sleeping, tape your mouth. So I use micropore tape to tape my mouth when I'm sleeping. You can buy it in the supermarket or pharmacy. So he goes on to say again, it's terrible to be mouth breathing, which I completely agree. If you watch my summary on his breathing podcast, or you just watch his podcast, he'll basically give you like 20 reasons why you should not be mouth breathing as a default breathing technique. If you struggle with nose breathing while sleeping, you can train your nose breathing while doing low intensity cardio. So if you're, say, walking, that's very low intensity actually, but if you're doing, say, like a low intensity interval training, just always breathe through your nose. That will actually dilate your nasal passages, and it'll train you to breathe through your nose more, so it's very beneficial. If you stay up late a couple of times a week, don't wake up more than an hour past your normal wake up time. Obviously, we're all talking about optimizing the sleep here, so if you say go out night clubbing and you get home at 1 a.m. in the morning and you normally wake up at, say, 6 a.m., don't wake up an hour past 6, so you want to be waking up at 7. I think that makes sense, right? Alright, and then we'll talk about the temperature minimum. So this is to adjust your circadian rhythm. So it's basically your going to sleep and wake up times. So what's your typical wake up time? Your temperature minimum is 2 hours before your wake up time. So if you get up at 6 a.m, your temperature minimum will be 4 a.m. This is if you get up at 6 a.m, like literally constantly every day. So ask yourself, do you want to stay up later and wake up later? If you do, you should be viewing bright light, eating, exercising, socializing, or drinking caffeine, or all of them, 2 to 4 hours before the temperature minimum. But if you want to go to bed earlier and wake up earlier, view bright light, eat, exercise, socialize, or drink caffeine, or all of the above, immediately after your temperature minimum. So this is very useful for shift work and jet lag. So if you're moving to a different country, you need to wake up earlier or later. And for shift workers, it's best to stick to the same schedule for 2 weeks at a minimum. And if you need to be up in the middle of the night, like if you're feeding a baby, use red light. So, hope you like the video. Please subscribe to see more summaries. And by the way, I've got a private exclusive community. Just click on the link in the description and you can join it. I promise you it's really, really good. Take care, bro.